ॐ नमः शिवायेति शिवं प्रपद्ये शिवप्रसीदेति शिवं प्रपद्ये शिवात् परन्नेति शिवं प्रपद्ये शिवोऽहमस्मीति शिवं प्रपद्ये। शास्त्रस्य गुरुवाक्यस्य सत्यबुद्ध्यावधारणा सा श्रद्धा कथिता सद्भिः यया वस्तूपलभ्यते. Acharya says in Viveka Chudamani, the complete conviction in the Shastras and the Guru Vakya, this is called Shraddha. And specifically the word conviction is used. It is not faith, it is not blind belief, it is a certain conviction that has come from the intelligence. Because if there is someone who is very close to us, let's say a close friend of ours, why do we trust whatever they say? It's because over time we have come to understand that this person, one, has good intentions towards us, and this person has nothing to gain by lying to us, so we can trust this person. So this kind of trust, this kind of conviction in the words of the Shastras and the Guru, that is called Shraddha. Yaya vastu upalabhyate. Acharya says, if you have this one quality, then you will get the Atma Vastu, you will get moksha, the ultimate goal of human life. Now, why should we trust the words of the Guru and the Shastras? When we look at the Puranic literature, we'll see that every aspect of our life, anything that we can think of, all the way from psychology to quantum physics, everything is covered in the Puranas. For example, there is a concept called time dilation, which states that time operates differently in different parts of the universe. Now, when you look at the Puranas, there are multiple stories which clearly demonstrate that time operates differently in the human world, time operates differently in the Devaloka or in the divine realms. So, our rishis were perfectly aware of this concept of time dilation. Another thing that is mentioned in the Shastras is that every Jivan takes about 86 lakh births before getting this human birth. Now, modern scientists have come to the conclusion that somewhere around that number, they say 8.9 million, which is slightly higher, is the total number of species of living organisms that we have on Earth. Now, how were the rishis aware of all of this? If you take yoga as an example, now after so many experiments, after so many tests, scientists are able to establish that by performing this particular asana or this particular pranayama, these are the health benefits that you will get. But the rishis, who for the very first time found out about these asanas and knew that by regulating the breath or bending the body in a particular way, so many changes can be affected within the body. What was the level of their genius? And knowing all of this, if they still chose to tell us that the ultimate purpose of human life is liberation, then we have to take their word for it. If someone who has not achieved anything in the world, someone who has no idea about the workings of the universe, if such a person comes and claims that the purpose of human life is liberation and happiness cannot be found in the world, we can question that. What do you know about the world? But some of the most intelligent minds to have ever walked this planet, they have examined every nook and corner of existence, and they have come to the conclusion that happiness is to be found only in the Atma or in Bhagavan. Upanishad says, Parikshalokan karmachitan brahmano nirvedamayat nasti akritah kritena. After examining the world completely, a person comes to the conclusion that by doing something or creating some luxury or comfort in the world, you cannot achieve true happiness. This is the conclusion of the rishis. Now, what do? We don't think about the rishis, and we sit and worry about every other person who knows nothing about life. The people who we are worried about could be relatives, could be friends, could be society. We waste our lives uh, just breaking our heads about what they will think of us if we don't do certain things. But can we ask ourselves for a second, do they even know 1% of what the Vedic rishis know? This faraway relative of yours who keeps passing comments on your life and has nothing better to do other than to gossip about others, does he or she know 0.01% of what Vyasa Maharshi knows? Does he or she know 0.1% of what Shankaracharya knows? Then why are we wasting our lives living in a way that can please all of these people instead of living a life that the rishis have given for us with so much compassion? So it is okay to disappoint your friends, your relatives, or anyone in society, but don't disappoint your don't disappoint the rishis, and don't disappoint your guru. Yesterday we were seeing the story of Parvati Devi's Tapas. The Divine Mother, by example, shows us how Tapas is done. And she says, Gurunam Vachanam Satyam iti yesham dridhamatihi tesham ihamutra sukham paramam nasukham kvachita. When the Saptarishis come and try to change her mind by saying a lot of things against Narada Maharishi, who has done Jnanopadesham to her, based on the Agnya of Parameshwara, they're doing all of this. And when they say this, she very clearly says, whoever has this kind of conviction on the Guru Vakya, that person will never have any sorrow anywhere. Na asukham kvachit. And here or in the other worlds, he will always attain that true bliss. But if we don't have this kind of conviction towards the Guru Vakya, then here or elsewhere, there is no happiness for us. Bhagavan says in the Gita, Samshayatma Vinashyati. So, looking at her conviction, the Saptarishis, even though internally they're very happy, externally they pretend as though they're disappointed and they say there's no change in your mind and they go away. Then Sakshat Parameshwara, he comes. This scene is also very beautifully captured by Kalidasa in Kumara Sambhava. So he says, you are a Stri Ratna, you are a gem of a woman, and your father is the king of the mountains. Then why do you want such a husband? Someone like Shiva, he is wearing a snake as his ornaments, he's wearing snakes all over his body as ornaments, he's living in a smashana, he is surrounded by Bhuta Ganas, he has applied the bhasma of that is got from burnt dead bodies on his body. Why are you doing this to yourself? This is like exchanging a precious diamond for a piece of glass. You are applying mud all over your body and throwing away sandal paste. Here, he's saying becoming one with Shiva, he's saying is like a piece of glass, and the precious diamond is the luxurious life that she can live in her father's kingdom. And obviously, Shiva is saying all of this to test her. Then then he keeps insulting himself like this. But he has come in the Vesha of a brahmachari. And then finally, the Divine Mother has had enough and she explains the Shiva Tattva to him. She says, you know nothing about Parameshwara. He is a Tyagamurti. Whatever good things are there in the world, all of that he has given it away to everyone. And whatever nobody wants, he has kept it with himself. The snakes that everyone else is scared of, where will they go to? Who will they surrender to? They come and become ornaments to Parameshwara. By applying the ash from cremated dead bodies, he reminds you that this body is nothing but ash, so stop identifying with it. By surrounding himself with Bhutaganas, Parameshwara is just showing his magnanimity. Rest of the devas, if you're well dressed and you're looking very civilized, then they will allow you into their satsanga. Only if you have done enough makeup, then you will get entry into their satsanga, you will get entry into their dhama. But Parameshwara says, I don't care what clan you were born in. I don't care if you were born as an asura, you were born as a bhuta, as a pishachi, whoever you might have been born as. If you decide that I want Bhagavan, I will give a place for you. Who else can have such a big heart? Who else can have the heart to accept even the lowest of the low? That is the tattva of Parameshwara. He lives in a smashana because he wants to see everyone and bless everyone. So he tried sitting in a temple. Not everyone comes to a temple. He tried sitting in a puja room. In the house, 5 people are there. One person does puja. The other person probably enters the puja room. The other 3 don't care. So Parameshwara thought, I need to go and sit in such a place that everyone will come to and I can bless everyone equally. Swami Vivekananda says, death is the great equalizer. Saints die and sinners die. The learned die and the illiterate die. Everyone dies. So Parameshwara decided this is where there is samatva. In society, when they're interacting, the differences are there that, oh, he's a learned person, this person is illiterate, this is a rich man, this is a poor man, this is a saint, this is a sinner. But there is one place where all of them are treated as equal. I will sit in that place and bless everyone. So Shakti, she explains the Shiva Tattva, and listening to this, Parameshwara becomes very happy and he reveals his true form. And thus the Shiva Shakti Aikya happens. And interestingly, before this, after Sati has left her body, Parameshwara is sitting and doing tapas. We saw the story of the Divine Mother's tapas, but even before that, Parameshwara himself is doing tapas. Kalidasa says, Tatragnimadhaya samit samidhe swameva murtyantaramashtamurtihi swayam vidhata tapasaf phalanam kenapi kamena tapaschachara. So he is sitting with a Agni Kunda in front of him. The place where he did tapas is also there. It is known as Virahi Ganga. It is there somewhere near Haridwar. So Kalidasa says he is sitting in front of one of his own forms. Bhurambhamsya Nalonilom Varamaharnatho Himamshuv Puman. The Ashtamurtis of Bhagavan are the 5 elements, Panchabhutas, Sun, Moon, and the Purusha Tattva, Puman. And one of them is fire. So fire is included among the 5 elements. So it is one of the forms of Parameshwara. So Kalidasa says he is sitting in front of one of his own forms, which is fire. And who is sitting? Swayam vidhata tapasaf phalanam. He is the person who gives people the phala of their tapas. The results of their penance is given by Parameshwara. Because if you work in a company, just if you do the work, you won't get the salary automatically. There has to be a person who is your boss, who analyzes the work that you have done and then pays you your salary. So like this, all the tapas that we do, Parameshwara looks at it, and then whatever blessings need to be given to us in accordance with our tapas, that is done by Parameshwara. Now he himself is sitting and doing tapas. Swayam vidhata tapasaf phalanam. Kalidasa ends with a rhetorical question and says, Kenapi kamena tapaschachara. With what intention is he doing tapas? It was for the sake of Shakti. Because he is separated from his Shakti, he is doing tapas to attain her. Alabhyam chudalankritasharikalalabhyam nijatapah phalabhyam bhakteshu prakatita phalabhyam bhavatu me. So this Shiva and Shakti, who are the results of mutual tapas. Shiva is the result of Shakti's tapas and Shakti is the result of Shiva's tapas. What do both of them do? For their bhaktas, they give all the phalas that they ask for. They are very, very generous in blessing their devotees. Shivabhyam astokatribhuvana Shivabhyam. They are of the nature of auspiciousness. Everything that is auspicious, the word Shiva itself means Mangalam, the most auspicious. So they are of the nature of auspiciousness and they bestow auspiciousness on the 3 worlds. Tribhuvana Shivabhyam, and that Parvati Parameshwara who bestow auspiciousness on the three words, where are they? Hridi punarbhavabhyam anandaspuradανubhavabhyam natiriyam. They again and again keep dancing in my heart. And when that dance of Shiva and Shakti happens within my heart, anandaspuradανubhavabhyam, I experience bliss. I am in a state of ecstasy every time this smriti, this smarana of Parvati and Parameshwara happens in my heart. And this Shivanandalahari is a salutation to that primordial couple. Kalidasa says, Vagarta viva sampriptau, Vagartah pratipattaye, Jagatah pitaro vande Parvati Parameshwara. To the parents of the universe, we go down and offer our salutations. We'll continue this in the next satsang. Shiva Shiva.